learners, welcome to the channel E-Shiksha Bites. The focus of this channel is to apprise my learners of the usage and the concepts of practical English in writing as well as in speaking. This is surely going to help the beginners as well as the students who are preparing for competitive exams. I'll share with you the tips and tricks to learn this second language. Today, I'll tell you the position of adverbs and the concept of MPT in adverbs. First, we talk about what actually an adverb is. After that, we'll try to learn what position an adverb takes in a sentence and what is the concept of MPT in adverb. So, when we talk about an adverb, adverb is a word that describes a verb. In this sentence, Renu writes very beautifully. Writes is a verb and beautifully is describing how beautifully she writes. So beautifully is an adverb. Then an adverb is a word that describes an adjective. Renu's writing is extremely beautiful. Beautiful is an adjective because it is modifying writing. And extremely is again describing the word beautiful. So an adverb is a word that describes an adjective. It is an adverb. Then an adverb also describes an adverb itself. In this sentence, Renu writes very beautifully. Here, beautifully is an adverb because it is modifying the verb writes, and very is again describing the word beautifully, which is an adverb itself. So, it's a very simple definition that an adverb is a word, or I must say a phrase, which describes a verb, an adjective, and an adverb itself. Now we talk about the kinds of adverbs. Kind of adverbs, here we have basically five kinds of adverbs: adverb of manner, adverbs of place, adverbs of time, adverbs of degree, and adverbs of number. Let's study one by one in brief what an adverb of manner means. Whenever you get an answer of how and in what way, it is talking about adverbs of manner. Example: rudely, carefully. If I say the subjects criticize their ruler openly, how they have criticized? Openly. So this is an example of adverbs of manner. Adverb of place, whenever you get an answer of where, it means we are talking of adverb place. Example: downstairs, outside, nearby. If I say his chopper flew northwards and then swung eastwards, northwards and eastward is talking about the place where eastwards and northwards is an example of adverbs of place. Now, adverb of time. Here, when we talk about or you get an answer of when the thing has happened, tomorrow, 8 a.m., or day after tomorrow, yesterday. So, this gives you an answer of when the thing has happened. Now, adverb of degree, when it basically tells the extent and the intensity of an action, and when you get an answer of how much, like extremely, very. Then adverb of number, it tells about, or you can say it gives you the answer of the question how often. Example: twice, thrice, many times. If I say I called you many times yesterday, many times here is the number, adverb of number. If I say he slipped twice and broke his leg, he slipped twice, it means we are talking about adverb of number. Now, the most important thing is we need to understand the position of adverb. We know the kinds of adverbs, but when we talk about an adverb in a sentence, we should know the exact position where we have to fit in the adverbs. Generally, in the competitive exams, they gave you an answer, they gave you a sentence, and they ask you correct the sentence. They misplace the position of an adverb. And one thing that you need to keep in mind is an adverb. never takes the position between a verb and its object. So the examiner, they set a paper, the sentences in such a way that they usually keep the adverb between a verb and an object. And it's very pretty clear, it's a rule that you don't have to keep the adverb between a verb and its object. Example, if I say we drink occasionally wine. Drink is verb, occasionally is wine is object. So in this sentence, occasionally is an adverb and it is taking a position between a verb and a wine. So it is incorrect sentence. Now, we occasionally drink wine. Drink verb, wine is object, and occasionally is an adverb and it is taking a middle position. So this sentence is correct. It can take middle position, but it never takes the position between a verb and its object. Occasionally we drink wine. Again, it is not taking a position, not taking place between a verb and its object, but it is taking a front position. So it is absolutely correct sentence. So here I would like to focus on the first and the very important rule, that an adverb never takes a position between a verb and its object. So in these three sentences, first sentence it is taking a position between the verb and its object. So sentence is incorrect, but yes, it can take a position in the mid as well as in the front also. Let's take another example. I painted carefully the hut. Ver- Painted is verb, the hut is object, and carefully is taking a mid position. So this sentence is incorrect. Another is, I carefully painted the hut. Here, carefully is taking a middle position. It is not interrupting the verb and its object. So the sentence is absolutely correct. Next is, I painted the hut carefully. Painted the hut. No interruption between these two verb and its object, and carefully is taking the last position. So this is absolutely correct. I hope the concept of this position of the adverb is clear. In general, the adverb, the always and never takes the mid position. Say, I always go for morning walk. Go is a verb and always is taking a mid position. We never imagined this would be so hard. Imagined is a verb and never is taking a mid position. She is always looking out of the window. Looking is a verb and always is taking again a mid position. So always and never take the mid position. Now let's understand the concept of MPT, where we have discussed in the previous slides, we have discussed about adverbs of manner, adverb of place, and adverb of time. From there only, the concept of MTP has come. M stands for manner, when you get an answer of how and in what way. P stands for place, where we get the answer of where, talking about a place. And T stands for time, when you get the answer of when. So MPT is basically adverb of manner, adverb of place, and adverbs of time. Now, in general, manner, place, and time, adverbs they usually come after verb. And when we talk about the frequency, they come before verb. Then the previous slides again we have discussed that always and never take the mid position, and they are placed before, just before the verb. So when we talk about adverbs of frequency, they take the position before the verb, and manner, place, and time, they usually come after verb. But now the problem is when these three adverbs, manner, place, and time, they come in a single sentence, and in that case what you have to do, so it's a simple trick that you have to arrange these three adverbs in the sequence of manner, place, and time. Let's understand this with an example. This is one sentence. The girl sang beautifully. Beautifully is giving you how. It means it's talking about a manner. Last night is when. It means it's talking about time. At the party is We're giving the answer of place, that is where. So the sentence, it means in this sentence you have all these three adverbs: adverb of manners, adverbs of time, and adverb of place. Now, but the arrangement is M. How is M? Then this is when, that is time, and place. So this is actually arranged in an incorrect order, that is M, T, and P. So this sentence is incorrect. Now let's take the another the same thing and try to correct the order in the sentence so that our sentence becomes grammatically correct. So the sentence should be: the girl sang beautifully. This much sentence is correct. Beautifully, that is out of manner. How the girl sang beautifully. Then P, that is place. We have to give the position of place first. So at the party, and then the time. So here the concept of MTV is followed. So the sentence is correct. The girl sang beautifully at the party. I feel now the concept of MPT is clear to all of you. So this basically, I have given you the 5 sentences. This is food for your brain. Try out these sentences and try to arrange these sentences in the MPT order. The practice makes the man perfect, and I hope you like these slides of mine. So I request you to like, share, and subscribe, and happy learning.